let me just take a quick opportunity, because as you're watching those live visuals on your screens, joining us on the broadcast is Himanshu Gulati. Himanshu is a Member of Parliament in Norway. Mr. Gulati, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. So what do you make about this Pran Pratishtha ceremony, sir, and observing it and for the people attending it? Himanshu, if you can hear us.
I have to say it's a matter of great honor to be invited, and I'm very thankful because this is indeed a historic moment and a celebration for the entire world, not just India.
Okay, so I'm assuming you have roots in India, sir, but what about your country in Norway? What is the understanding necessarily about India, about the Ram Mandir and the celebrations in Norway, sir?
Well, the fact that we from abroad are here as well hopefully will increase that awareness, because this is an example for the whole world how a disputed issue can be solved peacefully and democratically. So the reason many of us have come from abroad is to increase that awareness, so this does become a celebration for the entire world.
Okay. Himanshuji, do you feel that there is some global excitement about visiting Ayodhya? Or, in the standing that enjoyed by a Makkah or by a Vatican and the St. Peter's Basilica, or is it that that's going to take time?
I definitely think that Ayodhya will be one of the main tourism hubs in India. But to be honest, I think currently the awareness is mostly among the Indian origin community, the Hindu community, and that we have to do a big work to make sure that also the average person living in the West or other parts of the world get to know the importance and significance of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya.
Okay, I don't think it's being lost on our viewers that we both share a surname, but there's some root there that tells us, despite wherever we are in the world, no direct relation here. Himanshuji, you just mentioned this about solving a problem and moving on. Given the time that the world has many problems to solve, what is an example that is being served here in Ayodhya?
It should be, and I'm very privileged to represent the country of Norway, the country that also hands out the Nobel Peace Prize. Therefore, it gives me extra meaning to come because I want to spread the word to the world that Ayodhya is an example of how a dispute can be solved peacefully. And in a world that is filled with conflict, violence, whether it's in Ukraine or in the Middle East, we need more such examples as Ayodhya is presenting itself.
Okay, Himanshuji, quickly before I let you go, what is your perception of India under Narendra Modi, under the present regime?
Well, I think that Prime Minister Modi has really asserted India's role as a global leader. Both his style and policies make India one of the most preferred trading partners in the world. And I think a lot of Western leaders are jealous when they see the response and warmth and welcome that Prime Minister Modi receives, whether it's filling stadiums in the US, Australia, Madison Square Garden. That's usually not the sort of response we as politicians in the West are used to when we travel around.
Okay, we are a few hours away from the ceremony. Himanshuji, all the very best. Enjoy the day today. It's going to be a bit of a chilly morning, but there's going to be a lot of energy in the air for sure. I'm going to try to get my colleague Akshit back on the ground to give us an update. What you're watching are live shots of the Ayodhya temple. Pia, you're going to have to relax. All right, just relax. We'll see through the day. Don't worry, okay? You're seeing shots of the live temple on your screens, which is all decked up. The Prime Minister is expected to arrive in a couple of hours from now. He's in Delhi, remember. He's been touring the country where he's been visiting various sites related to Lord Ram. And he's going to show up at about 10:30, I'm told, in Ayodhya. The ceremony itself begins at 12:30, 12:20. It's only going to be a couple of hours long. A few thousand people, 9 or 10,000 people are going to be gathering, for which you see the white chairs that have been put in the forecourt of the Ram temple. Himanshu Bhatt still with us, so is Sumit P. Sumit, let's just pick up the theme of the conversation that we were taking. When we are saying rediscovery, okay, now what is next? Because some people are reasonably going to be concerned because it is very difficult to see a change in order, that a surgery is performed, that something different is being done. Sometimes it's much easier to let the things ride for as long as they are, slowly simmering away. What is a Narendra Modi then achieved here? Because this is not necessarily of his doing. You can argue this is a court ruling and etc. etc. But what's Narendra Modi's role here?
Narendra Modi as a person, as a politician, may not be known for 370, may not be known for demonetization, may not be known for surgical strikes. These might be political milestones. But what Modi ji has done is much, much bigger than what any leader could have even imagined. He has restored back Sanatani way of life and Hindu pride in a Hindu, where he is proudly associating himself with a Hindu. That was missing. We used to always say, "Gharv se bola main Hindu hai." And there was a time where we're apologetic about faith, being secular and being non-Hindu was seen as being forward-looking. Yet you could not be forward-looking and be a devout Hindu. That was what the mindset we brought in. Being westernized, wearing a suit, wearing a tie, not going to a temple, having all the Western ways of life was seen as forward-looking global citizen. Now we have the Prime Minister, who is the most powerful leader in the world. He comes from a family. He was selling tea in a railway station and becomes the most powerful leader. He wears his religion on his forehead. He wears his religion on his sleeve. He wears his culture when he goes to every forum on the world. He's in his kurta pajama. That thing of Hinduness, that thing of Sanatan Dharma, that thing of Indianness and being accepted in the most powerful forums of the world as the most prominent and the most powerful leader has shattered all the beliefs what were given to us. That shattering of beliefs, that awakening of Hindu and that culture.
Yeah, but where is so where is the line, Himanshu? But where is so let me ask you specifically this. What is then a Narendra Modi doing here? Because he tells us sabka saath, sabka vikas, and many people will say no, and there will always be critics. Good, there should be critics. They'll say, okay, Ram Temple has happened before because of elections. We'll boycott it. We won't show up. Horrible thing, bad timing, bad idea. And there'll be other people who will be vociferously for this. So who is Narendra Modi? Is Narendra Modi a politician trying to win an election? And that's why he's doing this? Does he have a larger vision? Does he represent only the Hindus, as many people have been arguing for the past 20 years? Or has he proved a CV over the past 10 years that no, he means it when he says sabka saath, sabka vikas?
Yes, he means it. And what he has done to Indian politics is, he's totally changed the politics. He's changed the dynamics of Bharatiya politics, Indian politics, which will become a Bharatiya politics. That is what I see. Because what has happened here is people are gasping for breath to oppose him. Yes, I'm using the words very carefully by saying people are gasping for words to oppose him. Because those brigade, who were shouting at him, who were throwing all sorts of abuses at him, have not drawn any crowds. What is happening is this, Modi haters have become indirect Modi lovers. Because what they have done is they have united the country in such a way wherein we believe in sabka saath, sabka vikas. The politics of Bharat or politics of India and emerging Bharat is not going to be the same again. What you see today, Rushabh, in 2024 will not be in 2029. Because it will not cut any ice. This is going to be the last election or the last hooray of, as I said before also, India progressing and becoming strong. And my words, you will remember this when I say this. Is the moment we cross a threshold in the economic front, a threshold means 5 trillion economy. The moment we do that, what is going to happen is Bharat's word is going to be ruling the world. Yes, you don't need 35 trillion economy.
Yeah, but that's exactly the problem, right? So a lot of people will say that what you are saying is exactly the problem. This is the issue. Because the bigger India grows, the more arrogant you will talk, the more arrogant you will become, the more bossy you will become, and that's not good for the world. You can agree or disagree, but that's the perception management over here, that you have to figure out who you are and what you are doing. Which is why it is so quintessentially important for us, as we are going through this process, to figure out who we are. And in the process, if you are now defining for yourself, Vishwamitra, Vasudev Kutumbakam, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, are you then being given, through the leadership of the country, a guidance on responsible growth, on responsible leadership or not? Okay, and I'll leave it as an open question because we have the entire day to discuss it. I want to hit the ground quickly with Akshit, just get a flavor of what's happening. Akshit, yeah, we are almost at 9 o'clock in the morning now. So what's happening? Can you please show us around and talk us through it, please?
Yes, Rishabh, there behind me you can see, the barricading has been done and people are behind the barricading because as I was discussing, security measures are continuously in place you can see there to welcome the Prime Minister in a grand way. The Uttar Pradesh government has set up 100 platforms along the road wherein 2,500 folk artists are performing. And the UP Culture Department has also made the preparations and dropped in some of the famous folk artists. So of course, the Pran Pratishtha ceremony is going to begin from Mangal Dhwani as we are getting to know, and we'll just continue to show you visuals how this Surya Path has been bedecked with flowers all around the road, and also guests will also start to arrive very soon, so protocols will have to be followed, this is a very pivotal moment of consecration, and a very small auspicious time window is also there, what we are picking up, because the auspicious time window for the Pran Pratishtha ceremony is remarkably concise, spanning from 12:29 to 12:30. It's only of 84 seconds, and it also symbolizes, the sanctity and the precision of the consecration process. So of course, the security is in place. It has actually been turned into a fortress, and there you can see how the roads are also being washed continuously, because as we know, Ayodhya has got a total makeover, a complete overhaul ahead of the Pran Pratishtha ceremony.
Okay, so there is so much to describe, so much flavor to what is going on around Akshit at this point of moment. It's cold but poignant at the same time. And there's a lot more that we can do with the visuals on our screens. Of course, there are some celebrities that are in attendance. Nice. But the larger theme, of course, is that, we're all people joining in to what's taking place. Let me quickly use the opportunity of just getting back Sumit into this conversation. Sumit, just to pick up the threads of the conversation we're having. So let's put it into perspective, right? You are a country that has been colonized for the better part of 200 years. You are a civilization that has seen a large part of its cultural heritage repressed, destroyed, the physicality of its temples ruined. So when you're rebuilding them, who are you? Are you out looking for revenge?
Rishabh, we are not looking for revenge. We have been the beacon of light for the world. We have been called Sonesh ki Chidiya. We were controlling 33% of the global GDP. We aspire to be exactly going back there where we are, and we aspire to be where we are helping the world. Look, today we produce 40% of the food grain. We are number 4th in hydrocarbons. Our rupee is going to be eventually entering the IMF's world basket. We are number 1 medical suppliers of the world. We are number 4th in space. We are number 3rd in what you call hydrocarbons. Sorry, 4th. We are number 1 in IT. We are the education hub of the world. So there are a lot of things, and we are number 4th in the space. So there are a lot of things where are 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are helping the world to grapple and come in lives. We have not debt trapped anybody. We have not taken anybody's land. We have not challenged anybody's legitimacy. This India.
But Sumit, what I was trying to say is somebody is going to have to come together, and by somebody I mean all of us are going to have to come together and now give us a guidebook on what to do next. So you are right. India is now going to become a larger and larger economy. Its power, its confidence is coming back. Sometimes, and we sit and discuss this every day, you and me and many others, sometimes you have to, by all means, put your foot down. Okay? Sometimes there's no being the nice guy. Okay? So yes, with Justin Trudeau, you have to put your foot down. Okay? With Imran Khan, you have to put your foot down. So let's not kid ourselves. You have to put your foot down. But in terms of an overall outlook in Vishwa Mitra and Vasudev Kutumbakam and Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas, do we have the pious themology that we say that we want to learn from the Ramayana?
Of course, we want to learn from the Ramayana. I'll tell you one thing, Rishabhji, which is very, very relevant today. There's a son whose father has promised something to one of his wife, and wife tells him, because of that, your son has to go to Vanvasa. He leaves the Raj. He leaves everything and walks because to keep the honor of the word of his father. Tell me, in the Greek mythology, Islamic mythology, Christian mythology, Jewish, Yazidi, all the mythologies, all the stories, is there any other Ram? Is there the wife who walks with the husband because you are going to the one and I'm going to go with you? The brother says, I have to walk with you because you are my brother. And the other brother who was supposed to get the throne, the Raj Gaddi, he says, give me your two khadaus, I'll keep on the throne and wait till the time you're back and I'll sleep on the ground because this is what my dharma is. So that dharma and vachan palan, that what is the ethos and what is the logic, how to hold the values of the civilization, that is what why Bhagavan is called Maryada Purushottam Bhagavan Shri Ram. This is what the world has to learn from him. There is no son like this. We have seen, I'm not trying to, make it come in, and I have seen, Aurangzeb cut this head of his brother, present it on a platter to his father. Loji, tumhara bada beta. I mean, when he kept his father in the prison, he was used to give him one surai of water. He asked him more water and Aurangzeb refused that. And this Shahjahan, Aurangzeb refused that. Shahjahan said, I will quote in Hindi, तेरे से अच्छे तो वो काफिर है जो मरने के बाद भी अपने पुरखों को पानी देते, तू तो जिंदा में भी नहीं देता. I mean, one brother was killed by horses, one brother was killed by drowning him or something.
Yeah, so that's the good and evil of it, right? And good and evil, as we know, and the Ramayana teaches you, it's a very complex thing. Okay, it's a very complex thing. Why good things happen and why bad things happen and why wrong things happen. Okay, it's like criminal behavior is also very complex. So sometimes you have to put your foot down. So this is the understanding of who we are. Okay, so now I want to touch upon a small themology on this, but Sumit, I'll come back to you in just a second. Joining us also on the broadcast is Sachidanand Shukla. He is in Atlanta in Georgia right now. It will be late into the wee hours of the night there. Shukla ji, what's the time there, sir, in Atlanta on the East Coast?
It's close to 10:30 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna have I'm guessing you're all prepared to stay up late today to watch these celebrations in Ayodhya live. Is that the plan, sir?
There is no question that that's not the plan. Yes, this is a moment I think a billion of us have been waiting, and we are lucky that this is happening in our lifetime. So yes, we plan to stay throughout the night, watch the program, and also there are a lot of other programs happening in temples across Atlanta and across USA.
Can you give us an example? So what are friends and family, you and all, what's your plan for tomorrow? Are you going to a particular location? Are you gathering? I've seen some people are taking out car rallies. What's the plan for tomorrow, sir?
So Ram Rally has been, because the consecration in Ayodhya is happening in our night time, the celebration started on Saturday and Sunday, because while we are in this Sunday late night, early morning, Monday hours, it leaves us, not a lot of time, to celebrate on Monday. We have to get back to work. I have heard in India, people got off, which is awesome. We didn't. So we still have to carry our day jobs. And a lot of celebrations have started from Saturday through Sunday. Ram Rally has been very popular in Atlanta. I have seen stills. I have sent it to your team as well from California. 900 plus cars. We got permissions to do a Ram Rally and go to 21 different temples in Atlanta. So that was Saturday, to connect the devotees and connect all the temples together. To me, this has been a moment of, a universal unifier. The saying that Ram sabke hain, within the Sanatan Hindu community, especially living abroad, having that fabric is very, very important for us and our coming generations, for our children.
Okay, so what about people around you, sir, who might not have a root or connection with India? What do they see it as? Because It's a building that's being inaugurated, very nice. Not many people will understand Ayodhya or the history or not necessarily be aware of the Ramayana for sure. Are they watching this as, okay, you are doing it, so okay, interesting, we'll come along, and celebrate with you? Or is there a curiosity now about what's going on?
That's a really good question. We as Indians and as Hindus have been very, like within our own community, even, the history has to contribute to why, the texts of India have not been as popular as you read about other cultures, other Greek civilization and others. Somehow the Indian civilization has, I feel, that's my personal opinion, that it has been suppressed in the, Western culture. We have been mocked in the past about, being our like, snake charmers and whatever. That has changed, with education, but the curiosity, so the purpose behind, the Ram rallies, connecting the community, it is about generating that awareness. We had, digital billboards, very expensive. We all contributed, collected money to showcase that, what this temple is about, what is Ram about. And, one is to generate that curiosity. Second is to let people know that, like there is a lot of mixed stories about, if I read some of the channels from here, like, it doesn't put the balanced perspective. I'm not saying who's right, who's wrong.
No, no,
This is
it's
not the
no, no.
kind
But like I said, so it's for motivated reasons, right? And the reasons for the motivation can come from many directions. So what is then the perception? Because I know how this is being viewed in some quarters, or rather how it's being propagated in some quarters, that actually this is happening, as some sort of Hindu pride march, and this is very fearful, and there are Muslims in India living in fear, the Muslims of Ayodhya are living in fear. No, like people everywhere, everybody has their concerns and their fears. Is there a manic crisis happening in India? You and I know it isn't. So what is the irritating part of this that you find?
I think, I mean, I really, maybe I'm not looking at the perspective of anything being irritating. Like, I have been watching the Indian news. There has been bits and pieces of maybe within the Indian, like the Hindu diaspora, there might be disconnects. There might be, a political segment which is like, this is a Modi moment or not. But I have not heard from a single, people from the minority community or Muslim faith to go to express themselves against this idea. Once, even after the Supreme Court verdict, I don't see it as, maybe it has been a political contention in the past more than the actual people on the ground. Like, I'm from Lucknow, I have been to Ayodhya. I have friends who are from the Muslim community, and not a single person has said this is wrong or Hindu pride. Like, what I also don't understand is why should we be hesitant of being a proud Hindu? That is a transition which has happened in the last 20 years. And, to carry ourselves, as a, hey, I'm an Indian first, and then I'm an Hindu. This is what my culture adds to you. We give, we have yoga, we have karma, we have dharma. And I don't see anything wrong in carrying the identity we belong. Again, there's a fine line between being proud and being arrogant. Don't be arrogant, but be proud of who we are. And
okay. Quick touch base before on a different note. So when I was talking to my other guests about this, that 20, 30 years ago, yoga was something you did in an ashram somewhere. Okay, and now today in the fanciest places in the world, in all over the world, you have yoga clothing, yoga mats, all your celebrities everywhere doing a rediscovery. So rediscovery of Indian food is happening. I was mentioning that you can go to 5-star hotels now and order a vada pav, and it's considered something very special for people in India. You used to having it on the streets. What is that you witnessed where you were staying, sir, in Atlanta?
There has been a massive change. There has been a massive awareness about India, and the population also coming from India on various visas. We all are here. US is a very free country. I still see it as a large base for educated immigrants. We still have a very good relationship with India. The way I see it is, one, the curiosity has turned out into it is our inclusiveness. So we did not go and challenge the different forms of yoga, like, like whatever, like there's sauna yoga, there's hot yoga, there's, we did not go and challenge or patent and say, this is the only way to do yoga. Here is the concept. Here's how you breathe. Here's the basic things. And then, people have taken it, understood the, the meditation aspect. Maybe I'm not as intellectual as everybody else, but which other culture has quote unquote a meditation or dhyan in their cultural fabric? We have that. We never promoted it. We were so probably not so proud of, or we're not even self-aware. By being self-aware, by having people like Baba Ramdev and others who preached it at a national level, that
Yeah.
hitch
You
is
know,
gone.
you're right. You're right. I think you've chosen your words very well. Self-awareness. Sometimes you have something in your own house that you take for granted. In India, I call it "ghar ki murgi." Okay, it's not a palatable saying, but you understood what I've said. Nonetheless, Sachidanandaji, pleasure for you joining us. You still a couple of hours to go, sir, before the ceremony happens. So enjoy that with your family. Have a pleasant evening. I hope you had a good dinner and have a good celebration tomorrow. We've been showing some shots of the celebration and the drum rolls that are happening in Atlanta where you are. And of course, I have friends and family in Atlanta also. I'm hoping they're joining in as well. Take care, Sachidanandaji. We'll hope to connect with you tomorrow, perhaps after the thing is over. Live shots on your screens of the Ram temple in Ayodhya. And I think given how cold it is in North India, how foggy it is in North India, how difficult it has been to travel by train or air or by road for the past few days, you're getting the clearest visualizations. And hopefully as the hours pass, the sun will come out, it'll clear up. You don't have to squeeze the shot, it was absolutely fine the way it was. See it as it is. This is the front of the temple, the staircase that climbs up. I've been mentioning 360 feet to the top of the dhwaj at the back. 160 feet is the width. You can see the literally thousands of tons of flowers that have been brought into Ayodhya. All plastic has been banned. They've got 203 electric buses, so they're going to be quiet and there's going to be no diesel pollution as we speak. And they managed to get 203 electric buses in a few days. It's gone from 0 to 203 in less than a week. And those are being used to ferry the VIPs for today, and of course will be deployed in the fleet of Ayodhya come tomorrow. So an excellent development on that front as well. People haven't begun gathering in mass, and we are waiting for the Prime Minister to leave his residence in Delhi. And I'll get a reporter outside from LKM very, very shortly. Let me just introduce a guest joining us on the broadcast. Himanshuji is still with us. Alok Mehta joining us this morning. Michael Sternfield is joining us. We spoke to him a few days ago. He's done the Ramayana in audio form. Patikrit also joining us this morning. So let me just quickly open this up. Patikrit, good morning. What are you making of what's going on?
Good morning, Rishabh, and I'm very honored. I think it's a momentous occasion that on a day like this that we're getting an opportunity to speak. It's been a 500-year-old journey. One thing I must mention, what has happened in the last 10 years is that, Vikas and Virasat has been taken together. This day, what we are witnessing today, the enormous amount of effort that has gone to ensure that this day arrives. It wouldn't have happened without winning elections by Prime Minister Modi in 2019 and the UP election in 2022. This construction of temple went hand in hand while ensuring that 24 crore people are brought out of multidimensional poverty. 12 crore toilets were built, 99% people have access to banking, 200 crore vaccines were given. So much of effort has been made to ensure that, it is not just the temple, but the true essence of Ram Rajya comes back. And let me also tell you today, it is not just about a temple. The philosophy, the spiritual guidance of Lord Ram is so very essential in today's era. The Maryada of Ram and the Niti of Krishna. For both of them, war was the last resort. When Prime Minister Modi says that this is not an era of war, it is time for the West to emulate that. It is for many other countries to emulate that. War cannot be your first resort. So the manner in which Lord Ram, against all odds, his life, in the words of Sadhguru, has been about one tragedy after another, and yet against all odds in such adverse situations, he maintained his patience, he maintained his calm. He was never frustrated, he never cursed, he never repented. He just went along with a calm mind. And that those essential qualities, if we can, embrace in today's era, I think majority of
No,
the problems that we
yeah,
face.
Pratikrit, it's a global discovery, right? And the reason for the global discovery is that there's certain aspects that last forever. The reason you still read the Greek epics and you read the Greek philosophers is exactly for this, because what they wrote 2000 years ago is relevant, because who we are, what we are doing, love and hate and good and evil, and what motivates us and demotivates us, and what makes us happy or sad or depressed. That's the human condition. The human condition in all these aspects hasn't really changed. Technology might have changed, what we wear might have changed, how our houses look might have changed, but the human condition hasn't changed. And there is the realization of so much to learn. And the irony, of course, is that one who has absorbed it from a Western lens for too long thinks that the aeons of knowledge amassed through the generations going back 4, 5, 6,000, we don't even know how old some of the Indian sites are, that somehow has been irrelevant, or that Machiavelli had more to tell us about world affairs and realpolitik than Kautilya did. Maybe not. Maybe Kautilya had similarly interesting insights, that it was Sun Tzu or Confucius or Nietzsche that seemed to have figured out the world and nobody in India had. This is a realization that is taking place, which is important. Alok Mehta joining us this morning also. Alokji, very good morning to you, sir. As a person who's been covering Indian affairs since before I was born, when we say important moment in Indian history, Alokji, what is it? Put it into context to us. What is the moment in Indian history right now? What is happening today?
Rishabhji, very good morning and namaskar to all our viewers. Because you are talking very historical facts, and that's why I wanted to congratulate you first. Because you are a channel who is talking very seriously, not just promoting some ideas or something. That's why I just remembering in 1976, when I went with Manohar Shyam Joshi. Everybody must be knowing the editor, writer, and the soap opera television started with Hum Log. So Manohar Shyam Joshi and Amritlal Nagar. We visited Ayodhya because Mr. Nagar, Amritlal Nagar was visiting there for archaeological work was going on 71, 72. That's why Mr. Nagar told us that we should go there, and he himself took us there. So imagine we should give tribute to those archaeological people who did a lot to find the proof for this great Ayodhya temple. And second thing, when in 1981, when I visited 81 Vatican City, then I thought, can I imagine something will happen in India? Because in ancient, you can imagine I was in 27, 28-year-old at that time. Never imagined that what will happen in Ayodhya. So cut short, but I want to say, because the media talking and everybody was talking, so earlier also I mentioned that since then, our literary people, writers, after Goswami Tulsidas, that's why after independence, number of writers, journalists, they were writing, Manohar Shyam Joshi, and we wrote cover stories in Saptahik Hindustan those days. People say, why you are talking, why Kartikeya Sharma is there, why television and media is doing? Because this is a great opportunity for India, for Indian society, for Indian economy, for the future of India. For 1,000 years, this temple will be remembered as a spiritual for world, all over the world. That's why I think the great opportunity for us, because one can differ. But that's why I say, so tum jane hu antaryami, purahu mor manorath swami. जिसके भी मन में जो है, जो भावना होगी, जिसके मन में जो भावना होती है, उसको ईश्वर स्वीकार करता है. That's why I say, it's not a question of politics. Question is how you feel about it, feel about our great culture and the tradition and the religion. Religion is a part of the society. You believe in anything, but even then, and that's why the number of people, the Muslims writers, wrote poetry at that time. Even the Mughal period also, there were people who used to go Ayodhya and tribute Bhagwan Ram. That's why I think this is a very good opportunity.
Okay.
Then Prime Minister Narendra Modi started this mission and is completing now. It's a proud moment for
Okay,
all.
so Alokji, obviously, in anything that happens, okay, in anything that happens, we can try to sink to the lowest of it or try to see the highest of it. So if a marriage that takes place, you can try to sink and you can have a problem with the decor and you can have a problem with the food had too much salt in it or it was too cold or the Pandit ji spoke for too long. You can find problems everywhere. All right? Or you can rise above and say, okay, two people are coming together and all these things really don't matter. A larger thing is happening. And like I said, if you solve a property dispute in a family, it's for the betterment of the entire family. Okay? Everybody goes away better. The perspective I was just putting to people watching this broadcast, imagine if someone solved Jerusalem, solved the issue of the Dome of the Rock. That person would win a Nobel Prize. Okay? That here is a person, 1,000 years, jihads and crusades have been fought over Jerusalem, okay? And the person has solved the problem. They've come to a mutual understanding. Everybody is walking away. There might be people who are happy or unhappy, but everybody is walking away and moving on, okay? For the betterment of everyone. It's multi-Nobel Prize winning initiative. So there's a large perspective with which this conversation needs to have. We continue, as Alok ji mentioned, he knows me very well. So yes, it's a larger picture, serious conversation. But that doesn't mean we're not showing you what's happening on the ground. Nikita, my colleague, is standing by. She's at the road that leads up to the temple. Nikita, what's happening? What's happening on the ground?
Well, Rishabh, Ayodhya, now we are watching, Ayodhya is drastically changing and people all over the country have come here to witness today's Pran Pratishtha ceremony. Let's look at the pictures here. Everyone is coming, and while 8,000 people are in a long list of invitees, and selected list features 506 A-listeners, including prominent politicians, leading industry, top film stars, sportsperson, diplomats, judge and high priest also. They are coming to commemorate this occasion, and the center has given half a day off to all government employees, which include public sector bank, and also several states have also followed suit and declared a public holiday today. And so the Pran Pratishtha ceremony today will begin at approx 12:20 p.m. and is expected to end by 1 p.m. by Mr. Narendra Modi, and he'll be addressing a gathering of more than 7,000 people, including C's and prominent personality at the venue. Now look at the decoration here. We are currently standing at Dharampath, and straight you can see the wall is decorated with flowers which have been brought across all over the country, and also Lata Mangeshkar Chowk is gonna witness today's prominent event. Ayodhya, line by line, giving a mesmerizing look today. And if we talk about the consecration ceremony, which is being held after the first phase of temple's construction, made possible by Supreme Court judgment in 2019, now by Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid title suits. Now everyone is, want to witness today's event, and let's have a look at the security here. Everyone is standing in the proper rows, because this is only the place where VVIP guests will move and will be following towards the Ram Janmabhoomi. And also the people who have been invited today in event includes top stars, sports person, diplomats, just as I'm talking before, and also a barricading have been placed so that people can have a look in all Ayodhya standing alongside the barricading, and several cultural programs is also being taking place. So whole Ayodhya is
singing. You know what, Nikita, with every hour that passes, it's looking pretty sorted and well organized. I'm really, really happy to see that. It's looking neat, clean, pretty. I know it's really cold. There's so much we can do about that. But it's looking neat, clean, well organized. The barricading has been professionally done. Electric buses, so there's no pollution. There's no nonsense. There's no plastics. It's cleaned literally every hour or so. Somebody's coming to clean the place down. Beautiful flowers have been put up. I'm very, very happy to see that it is not chaotic. It's being well done. And I know the full temple is not complete. There is something at the, at the back, the shikhar and all, which are yet to be completed. But the main part of the temple is complete. A good ceremony is going to happen, hopefully an auspicious one, and we take it from there. Nikita, I'll come back to you just a bit.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.